Going into the Clemens for the first time through the glass door back entrance was one of the weirdest and coolest experiences I've ever had. Our classroom was this big glass box almost that had filled with books and artifacts surrounding it, people working on artifacts, curating things like that. That was just so real, and it really put you in the mindset of an archivist. And so being able to touch these archives for the first time, see what was going on. The first day we visited the exhibit cases, like it was just a lot happening at once, but it was so great to see everything that the Clemens had to offer. And the entire class is so hands-on and really beautiful to work with all of these archives. So I really did not know what I was getting myself into, but I'm really glad I got myself into it.
The first day of class, we did look at primary sources, and that was one of my first times ever being exposed to material like that. And I was asked, like, what do you see in these images, and what kind of story do you think this tells? And I remember just being way over my head, like, how am I going to be able to do this by the end of the semester? I had no idea how to really share their stories. So it's really cool to see how far we've come throughout the semester.
I had never even heard of an archive before. So I didn't know there were these places where all these primary materials were sort of like in their own area, and we were able to interact with them on a hands-on way. And we instead were sort of uncovering these paths and then, of course, researching and writing about them. And it was just a great experience all around. I think the most memorable moment for me would just be when we were able to enter the reading room for the first time and just seeing this beautiful, expansive space. And I remember looking at the previous students' curated exhibit about disability and thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to top this? Because it was just so incredibly made.
I think for me, it's a little bit more broad. I think the opportunity to work with all of these different sources was really special, but also the opportunity to write a little bit about their story was really special to me. And I definitely gained kind of a new passion for this kind of historical writing that I just didn't know that I'd ever had before. And it was really special to be able to put that into practice.
I actually agree with both of you so far, because I am also a very big history fan with writing now. And I realized how much I like historical academic writing and how much it makes a difference when you're able to tell someone's words through your own. And I think it's so important to come see this exhibit and feel this emotion for history, because throughout the course of the semester, I realized that so much of history is in ourselves. We are the people who went through these things in the past, who have had this history in the past. And for a lot of those people in the past, they have not had their stories told. And so for us to be doing them justice at some point in the future, through things like these cases, through things like the Clemens, it really makes a difference. And it shows how much we are trying, how much we care, and how much the future of history is so important, because we want to make sure that these voices don't get lost in the past, in history books, in textbooks that don't get read all the way through. They want to be told, they want to be heard. And I think that coming into the reading room at the Clemens, seeing these exhibits, seeing them lit up under the lighting and feeling the entire atmosphere of history surrounding you was just a really cool experience. The first time we all got to see the cases and talk about them and feel proud about them. And so being proud and feeling like you did something by telling these stories really was what I took away from this whole exhibit, and everything that came with it was knowing that you are doing history justice by coming to the Clemens, by partaking in conversations, leaving with curiosity that sometimes is satiated and sometimes isn't, and that's okay, because those questions are what creates conversations for the future.